Yes, good evening. Welcome. It's Red Corner Boxing. This is Hard Talk. We're back at midnight. Halftime Hard Talk. It's Hard Talk UFC reimagined, and we're going to split it up between a review show and a prediction show. These guys have all given you their predictions in the prediction league already for this week, but we're going to talk more in depth about over the next hour about what we've witnessed and what we're going to see tonight potentially. Now, gentlemen, another great advert for British boxing, but before that, we have to let the people in the chat know that this program is proudly sponsored by EasyStorage.com. For all your local and nationwide needs, please give them a look in the bio in our link, or the links in the bio even. Get that right, Mr. Neutral. Right, yeah, gentlemen, thanks for once again for your time. Obviously, my partner in crime, Jams Boxing Chat. We got 20 over there from Manchester, heavily involved in the boxing. We got Hawkan Ringside Live, our prediction Maestro League One leader, and more frustratingly to Jams, he can't catch him.
I can't catch him. He's slippery. He's like a bar of soap in a prison shower.
He's playing on his mind now. He's getting to him. He's got, he might make some dodgy predictions over the next couple of weeks. And from League Two, you got Rise Ramblings, Boxing Ramblings, a very, very respected boxer from my part of the world in Scotland.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Neutral. Brett wants to join, but he's asking for the link again. I did send it. Hawken, is there any chance you can send the boxing man the link?
I'll do it right now.
Oh, you can do it, Neutral. Nice one, thank you. I didn't know if you could do it while you're on screen, bro.
As we're saying, gentlemen, what an absolute great advert for British boxing. Yet again, we had Callum Simpson at Oakwell, that great card there. We had Fabio Wardley once again with another stunning performance there tonight. But first, gentlemen, again, British boxing, and feel free to join in any time. It's not going to go around in order or anything like that. Just tell us your feelings on what this meant for British boxing as a whole tonight. Against the backdrop of all the nonsense that's going on across the pond there.
Oh, it's massive, isn't it? Two big stadium fights on the same night. It's massive, isn't it? Some great fights on the cards as well. Plenty of drama. It's just getting better and better for British boxing, isn't it? And people say the Americans have it when it comes to the boxing, but watching both of them cards tonight, flicking between them, like the crowd, in Ipswich, it was bouncing down. It was bounce, and everyone was singing, having fun. It was quite busy in there early on the card as well. It wasn't like everyone turned up at the last minute for the last fight. British boxing is booming.
Couldn't agree more with you, mate, 20, to be honest. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic, mate. I was watching both cards and watching another card on my phone. It was a great night. Justice Hooney in the fight, though, against Fabio Wardley was obviously taking the fight, in my opinion. I've had a lot of comments on the Red Corner Boxing Chat saying that it was a fix. The referee was paid off to stop it the minute Hooney went down. All this BS. Just take the defeat, and if he wants to get a rematch, force the rematch. Try and get back in the ring with him. There's no need for all this clowning and all this crying about a result, mate. You got knocked out. You got stopped. Deal with it. Move on.
I actually watched the count back. Because I'd seen some of the things that was being said on Twitter. I actually watched the count back to
that
see.
Was me.
Well, the count was spot on. Like the count was the proper count.
Was that you right? Welcome, Brett, boxing man. Sorry, guys, from Canada. Look at that man, tanned up and all that sunshine. You lucky bastard. So yeah,
I had the wrong link, boys. Sorry, I'm late.
No, that was my fault. That's me being a pleb. Sent you the wrong link, my man. Sorry, I'll own up to that.
Neutral. I put a post saying, "Was that count fast?" Then I immediately, I wasn't trying to get. I don't give a fuck about clicks or anything. You know me. Then I immediately watched it back and looked at the count, and it was spot on. The referee was spot on.
Yeah,
But
he was like that. He was like that.
My friend who is staying in Australia, watching the fight with a lot of Australians, they were going off their bloody head in the pubs over there, and this. But then my friend who's also a boxing fan said, "Nah, that was fine." So we've looked back and we can see it's fine. It wasn't a bad count by the ref. There was no injustice, even though we all know Hooney was absolutely controlling that fight.
Yeah, let's talk about Brett. Let me bring you.
Yeah, but I have watched the counting 5 times after the fight, and my opinion is that it was too quick from the referee.
Too quick?
You thought it's too quick, Håkan?
He counted too quick. The referee.
A lot of people have said that to me as
I
well.
I watched it 5 times back, and I think he counted too quick. That's my
before he
opinion.
even got to 6, basically. Before 6 seconds, he got to 8. This is what I've been told by a load of Australians in the chat.
Yeah,
I agree with the Australians on this.
All right,
but I can also say that if he had counted like he should have done, he would have been out counted anyway. So it doesn't matter too much.
I mean,
that was wrong. The outcome was right.
You got to count it by the fighter hitting the floor, and the ref instantly. You watch his hands, and you count it. And obviously, we have hindsight, but you watch it, and obviously, there's maybe a.
He doesn't come in till 5. He doesn't come in till 5. The ref does it.
But there's
and then he goes 5, and then he says 5, and then he goes 6.
It depends on the ref. I mean, there's some refs that maybe would have given him an extra second, but it was 9. It was close. It wasn't a fast count by any means that we've seen before over the years.
Someone just sent me a message just now. It just came up on the top of the screen, right? Sorry to interrupt you, mate. Someone just messaged saying, "You British judges are fucking thieves." It didn't go to the fucking judges. What you talking about, dickhead? It didn't even go to the judges. How are the judges' fees? It didn't go to the fucking judges.
Mate, I got
what they're talking about, mate. You know,
I got a text off my.
Yeah, but I can say I'm neutral. I'm not on the British, and I'm not on the Australian. So my opinion is that it was a little bit too quick.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. If you said it was
agree
quick,
as well. It was a quick count, but
I didn't actually pay much attention to it. I was still stunned at the way he went down. You know, I had my cousin from Australia, he's Scottish, texted me saying, "Lucky bastard," you know, and all the Brett. I mean, I believe, you know, you had to catch up on it all, but you put out a post on this, and wow, I mean, you know, just tell me what you thought.
To be honest, lads, sorry for coming in a bit late, and if I repeat some of the things you've said, again, I apologise. But
we only start,
Hooney was outstanding.
Yes,
his game plan was next level, right?
Yes,
that little check hook that he kept on landing, bap, and he kept on landing it. And when you looked at Fabs going into the corner, I'm thinking to myself, what's Ben going to say to him here? Because how does he pull him out of this?
I was wondering if he quit, Brett. I was wondering if he quit.
His face is blowing up. His face is getting bigger and bigger because he's popping in. And then Hooney's dancing, like he's bouncing. He's bouncing. And the reason why I said wow is because it's the only way it could have gone the way it went. He throws a lazy jab. He leaves his shoulder open, and Fabs goes, "Oh, thank you." Bang.
Yeah.
And it's literally
the only mistake he made. You were quite right. Next level.
And only punch. Probably the only punch, because he kept on trying that uppercut. It was probably the only punch that was going to put Hooney out as well, because he was good at tucking his chin in. And he threw a lazy jab, he left his chin in the air, and Fabs hit it. And then he went down. I'm not going to play into this, lads. I haven't even looked, because I've just caught up. I haven't even looked into the controversy of the count. He was out. He was all over the place.
He was.
It don't matter if he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It don't matter. He was done.
He wouldn't have made a 15 count, you know, going that pace.
He was done, mate. He was done. But it was, you know what? Like, this is a bold statement, but it's almost like, you know, they keep talking about the white collar stuff, which I don't really like, to be honest. Because, but if it's Warren that's using it as promotion, I do like it. This boy can fight. Fabio can fight. He was actually quite composed tonight. He was trying to tap the body. He was trying to have a little look. But who needs a different operator? Who needs a different operator? He's a class above that. Fabs was tapping the body, trying to set stuff up. But Hooney was like little coy check hooks, little uppercuts round the corners. And the bottom line is that it was a punch perfect performance until he drops his guard and then he goes out because he had the equalizing kit.
I mean,
the equalizing kit is the right.
I think I said that during the fight, it was boxer versus puncher. It was
Yes.
classic boxer puncher fight. I mean,
But did you see the punch coming though? Right? Did you see it coming?
No.
I didn't, mate. I
thought Hooney was winning it on points wider. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I said in the watch along that I can't see a punch coming, but it would have to be a gift from the gods, you know. And he presented him the gift, as Brett said.
It was a great awkward punch. It didn't look like much on screen. It didn't look. I mean, it's not your stereotypical massive heavyweight punch, but it was a cracking angle he caught him at, and this and this rocked his. It was a beautiful.
It's not even a full punch, is it? It's just that one on the jaw that puts you out.
It was
kind of backing up, weren't he?
Yeah.
It was straight down the middle. That's what was, probably the factor that kept him down. Was if that had come round the side, Hooney was taking them all day long.
Yeah.
And like you were saying about the next level of boxing, I loved the way he would feint with the left and bang with the right, and he would switch it up and feint with the right, and that left, he kept landing that left. Now, having said all that, he's fun to watch, Wardley, but I get an awful feeling that as he goes up these levels, that he's going to have to rely on this Wilder-esque punch thing that he's, this equalizer that he's basically the British Wilder. But I think that's a bit unfair because, I think he's a bit of a slightly better boxer than that, I would say. But are any of you fearful for his next fight?
I am. I certainly am, mate. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, mate. I love Fabio Wardley. It's great to see him win, but you can see him getting outboxed so easily. JPH Hooney's not had that many fights, and look what he done to him. Yeah, he was a good amateur and whatnot, but come on, he's not like the top three. If Wardley's really got ambitions of going all the way to the top of the game, just like AJ, he's going to get found out. Just like Usyk did to Fury, he's going to get found out. There's levels to this game, and Wardley is a very good heavyweight, very powerful. He's got that concussive knockout punch, but he's not the best boxer, and he never will be. No matter what he does, he can train now his arse off for the rest of his life. He will never be as good as some of the heavyweights. Simple as that.
Really?
I think Wardley was off the boil a bit tonight.
Yeah.
The occasion got to him, didn't it?
I think it did. And the same with the Callum Simpson fight as well. I know we'll probably come into that later, but I think the same sort of thing. His first big occasion where he's headlining. I know, he fought Clark, but I think this was I think it just got to him the way his ring walk, everything. I think it just sucked a lot out of him. Because if you watch throughout the fight, he keeps saying to him, so you see him keep muttering to himself, "Come on." He keeps muttering to himself. He realizes that he's just not on it. He's just not at the races.
Twinny, do you know what I thought was telling was in the first round, the corner said to it, Hooney's corner said to him, "What are you seeing?" Which is a different corner strategy, by the way, after round one. And he went, "It's very slow."
Yeah.
And so at that point, I was like, "Oh shit, Fabs is in for a massive night tonight." If he's saying after round one he's slow, but that plays into what you were saying. He was obviously off. He was tense. He couldn't throw his jab, and Hooney. That's why Hooney was going into the fight and just jabbing, whacking like that. That's a telling statement in itself, isn't it, Mr. Neutral? When he turns around and says that he's slow in round one.
Because Neutral, you said Neutral before the fight as well, didn't you? You said like Hooney just doesn't look. He doesn't look relaxed. He
He
looks all over the place. And I think after that first second, it just gave him confidence. He just instilled Hooney, and he was on his toes. He was on his toes in the 10th round. He was still on his toes, bouncing on his toes.
Bouncing.
You know.
Can Håkan, you made a comment before that the ref was too quick. Do you agree with what one of our patrons in the chat has said? Joshua, he says, the ref is therefore paid off to save Wardley from losing by decision. I mean, Håkan, can you answer that?
I don't agree at all with this comment, but I think it was a little bit too quick. But like I said, it doesn't matter. He would have been counted out anyway. So
if it was just that on time, if you would,
Yeah, I actually agree with Håkan 100% there, because I thought the count seemed it seemed to go very quickly. Like, I was on 6 by the time he was on 8 or 9, so it seemed awfully quick.
It wasn't that quick. It wasn't as quick as you think. It was.
No, probably because I was excited, because I was jumping up and down. You know what it's like when you're watching it. I was overexcited, so by the time I started counting, I thought, bloody hell, that's gone quick. You know what I mean? But maybe I was too busy excited and playing around, you know.
And that's
the thing, you see, we get in our own heads, and we get this narrative, and then people just won't let it go. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a fact because I said it and I thought it, but no, it's bullshit. You know, we can check it later. We can get a timer and count it. We can all find out the truth.
Yeah,
it's not a problem. But it did seem quick to me too, to be fair. But again, could be proven
when
wrong
did they pay him off? When did they pay him off? Like the beginning of round 10? Did someone send a bank transfer to him? You know, like this paying ref off. I don't understand it. Like, you know,
I've had a lot. Tell you what, Twinny, mate, I've had a lot of them comments on the channel tonight. I've had so many people saying the ref was paid off, who was going to win, so they scammed it for Wardley.
You know what?
If it had gone to points and he'd been robbed, I get it. But when you knock someone out, how can they say he's been paid off? You know what I mean? What Hooney must have got paid off then to go down and get slops, you know?
Hooney, in the way I said on Twitter, and neutral liked it and all that and commented, the way Hooney reacted after the fight and before it, absolute gentleman of a guy. Absolute.
Oh, yeah.
Got a lot of time for JBH, man. Lovely guy.
When your head hits, let's talk about the refereeing a little bit then. Fair enough, the count was fast, and British home fighter has been, because they were going to lose on the scorecard, which we know he was losing by a landslide.
Yeah.
But when a fighter's head hits the canvas, I'd ask all the comments, Jam, to go back and look at how his head hits the canvas.
That's another ball.
It's that limp body where they go like that, and then when he gets up, and of course a fighter is always going to go, I'm ready to go again. He's stumbling. So Håkan's right. It might have been a fast count, and I'll go back to the boxing encyclopedia because he's neutral here. I had Hooney win. I had Wardley winning round 1. I had Hooney winning everything else.
I had Wardley round 2 and Hooney everything else. So yeah, same score, but I had round 2 to Hooney.
You know, I gave Wardley.
Josh had come up with another comment. Wardley was getting spanked in his own city by someone he thought he could just knock out in round 1. Is there a tantamount of truth to this, gentlemen, that Wardley took Hooney?
What a knockout! Gonzalez has just knocked out Chaparro on the MVP card, the Beatrice Maria Ferreira card. Wow.
Right.
I'm behind you.
Knockout that was. Wait till you see that, lads. It's fantastic.
I'm behind you.
Sorry, what fight?
Gonzalez against Chaparro on the MVP prelims. Fantastic knockout from the Puerto Rican.
Oh,
beautiful that, isn't it? Laid him on the ropes, all carnage like.
Like
them marionettes just need his arms up on strings, you know what I mean?
We'll give you a 3-in-1 show. We got to watch along as well. No, getting back to the point. Is there any element of truth that Wardley took Hooney too lightly in this fight, gentlemen?
No, can I go? I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I think he knows it was his toughest test. He almost, the Baby Miller fight was an easier fight.
100% agree.
And
100%.
so Ben and Ben's a smart cookie, right? And I know he's had Lee's lost recently. AJ's been knocked out in front of 90,000 people. I know Ben's had a tough go recently, but Ben's not stupid. He knew that this kid could box, and then he did. He did exactly what he thought he was going to do. He boxed his head off for 10 rounds. He just boxed or 9 rounds, box. They didn't take him lightly. But what I don't think they were prepared for is that those short shots around the corner that blew his face up and hurt him. I thought they thought he would box him, he'd catch him, and then land. But at the end of the day, you know, they go back to the drawing board. But there's one thing for sure: they'll never want that fight again. Never ever want that fight again.
Yeah, I said that.
Much tougher fight than Jarrell Miller for Fabio Wardley.
There's no way Queensberry are going to allow Wardley to go to Australia.
If he makes that rematch, it's as bad as what Johnny Fisher done against Dave Allen.
I would like to see if there is. I would like to see if there's a rematch clause in the contract. It's Eddie and Frank.
Eddie loves a rematch. Eddie loves a rematch.
There could be a rematch clause in there.
Eddie will write a rematch into every fight if he could.
Yeah.
He loves doing that. Now, again, right, the fight is finished now. Hooney, he's what, 26? He'll come again. You know, he's a bright lad. He's very down to earth. He's very realistic. I get the feeling he won't take this fight too badly at all. He'll know that he made a mistake. He left his chin in the air and he got punished after all his fine work. It just throws you one stitch and does the whole thing.
Especially in heavyweights.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about Justice Hooney. Now, Fabio Wardley, and then we'll just finish off on this, gentlemen, on this subject. Fabio Wardley, as I indicated before, I'm a bit worried about where he goes from here and who's going to, because I feel that when he goes up and steps up to that next level against bigger punches than Justice Hooney, and who are going to find similar openings. After watching that, I've made up he's won, but I'm very concerned about Wardley's future going forward.
What is the next level? I mean, obviously we've got the top guys. We've got Usyk.
Usyk, Dubois.
But I think he's a level, obviously,
probably
a fight below that. But doesn't he have a mandatory, WBO mandatory? Am I confused in thinking that?
He could have.
Yeah, I don't
Moses
know.
Itoma is number 1 WBO.
Who's next?
Torma's agreed to fight. What's his face tonight, though, isn't he? He's fighting not Big Baby Miller. Who's he fighting? Oh,
White.
God's sake.
Dylan White.
Dillian White, that's it. He's fighting Dillian White, and Anto Kakachi's fighting Ray Ford.
Really?
Yeah.
Kakachi's fighting Ford?
Yeah,
Kakachi. On the same card, August 16th.
140. Sorry,
really?
130 pounds.
Oh, is it 130?
Look, I think that some of the above European level boys will be looking at Fabs and thinking it's easy fodder.
Yeah,
they'll be looking at it going, you know what? I've got to avoid the right hand. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't. We talked about him being the UK, and I was about to say it earlier, and I didn't say it, and then you said it, Mr. Neutral. It's almost like he's the UK Wilder, like with a little bit more that he can just do that. But the bottom line is like Wilder carried some invincibility of like they'd be like this thinking about that right hand coming, whereas with Fabs they've seen the game plan now. Hooney's boxed his head off. The big boys will be looking at it going, no, I'll take Fabs on, no problem.
Hey, what's the chance, boxing man? What's the chance of AJ saying now, come October, come December, let's do it with Fabio Wardley? Now he's seen the chinks in his armor.
They won't because of Ben. If he still wants to stay with Ben's not going to let that happen. They're not going to fight. They're not going to fight.
Talks, it's going to be Big Baby Miller for AJ. That's the rumour now, because Gerard Anderson's pulled out, he's too big, don't want to know the crack. And Dillian White's already pulled out, he's now fighting at Torma. So who else really is there? There's only him left. So it's going to be, apparently, Jarrell Miller come between October and December.
For AJ or for
Frank Warren planted the seed by saying in that interview, we have the next, the British Deontay Wilder. That is that salesman seed
Yeah,
probably
yeah, of course it is. Of course it
He's
is.
going to fight an American fighter. It's as simple as that. He'll fight
Yeah.
Jarrell Miller. I mean, who knows? He might Jared Anderson. Who knows?
I was just
two
about to say Anderson, yeah.
Yeah, Anderson's well out of shape though at the minute. You see him doing them rap songs. He's absolutely massive. Like literally, he looks like Martin Bacoli, mate, like a sumo wrestler in a nappy. He looks ridiculous.
You know what? I think everyone at this moment will say, "Do you know what? Feed Martin Bacoli to anyone because right now he's fucking in the shape I'm in right now."
You were fantastic. You just had a week's away on holiday. You did some sparring out there as well.
Aye,
You
that was
you
hard
look
enough.
fantastic, mate. You've lost a few pounds. I can tell you're just under £199 now.
CRH93 says the tour would end broadly. Yeah, I'd agree at the minute, mate.
Right, let's move on.
Mr. Neutral, just before we move on, can I just address my comments that I made in the watch along?
Yes, of course, sir.
About that I wasn't shocked, and I don't understand why everyone's so shocked.
Oh, yes.
Because leading up to it all week, everyone was saying Uni will box his head off, and Wardley's got to find a punch to knock him out, and that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
That is exactly
People was acting like they expected Wardley to sort of box with him and be able to, Hooney is like Boxing Man was saying, he's levels above when it comes to the boxing. Do you know? Levels above him. It was always going to be that type of fight where he needed to find that punch. It's just that he didn't throw many of them and he didn't connect with any because Hooney was just really clever.
And he slipped him 20.
He got too confident.
He slipped him as well.
Yeah.
He flipped everything. Literally one lazy jab where he went this way instead of this way. And he went back and then he dropped it there and Fabs went, fucking hell. It's on back.
Left knee. Watch it when you watch the playback again. He dropped his left knee so he could get down, and then that right straight down the pipe.
He did slip the jab, and he slipped it as well. He was very clever how he slipped it, come down, and then threw the shot up right through. He wasn't just haymaking. He wasn't just finger. He threw the shot. He threw the shot properly, like slipped.
Calculated.
Calculated.
It's like he was waiting for that punch for like a round and a half.
Now, we have to move on. Just one more comment in there. Joshua, we'll get to that standing the sheet of predictions real soon. CRH93 says Zuma would end Wardley. That's one of the fights I was thinking of that would absolutely terrify me for Wardley. But that's not going to happen. Now, Callum Simpson had a great fight at Oakwell in his homecoming right there against Ivan Zuko, 18 knockouts out of 21 wins, unbeaten at the time. And he put Simpson down, what was it, 2 times, 3 times?
He put him down in the first and the third. Right.
So, a great fight by all accounts. I didn't see it myself. You guys will have to enlighten me. But, tell us, Jams, you start what you saw and what you felt about Callum Simpson.
It was just carnage from the start, mate. They came out and within 15, 20 seconds, Simpson was down. It didn't even seem a big shot from Zuko. And I thought straight away, Simpson's in fucking big boy trouble here. But he got back up, manned it out like Simpson does, got through that round. The second round was a bit of a war, but both were landing. No one went down. The third round, Simpson's down again. I thought, oh my God, he's going to lose here at Oakwell in front of his own peeps. But no, he dragged his ass back up again, went to war, dominated the next few rounds, and absolutely took him apart. And by the end, Zuko was blowing at his ass, and it was all about Simpson, and the inevitable stoppage came. And Callum done the job. Congratulations to the new EBU European Super Middleweight Champion, Callum Simpson of Barnsley. I was very impressed.
20, you had a unanimous decision win for that you've predicted for Simpson. After watching the 2 knockdowns, just how surprised and how glad you were that Simpson was able to turn that around and obviously end his man.
I'll be honest, I don't think it was so much of a turnaround. It was the first 15 seconds. Yeah. Callum Simpson was still walking out, touching everyone on his way out. He hadn't even started the fight. If you watch, his feet go square and he gets caught flush and he just goes over. He bounces straight back up.
Flash.
It wasn't like
almost
a big
tripped
punch.
himself,
It
didn't he,
wasn't.
Twinny? Almost buckled over his own legs.
Yeah, he hadn't started.
You go over on them in sparring with when you're not behaving yourself, where
you place your foot in the wrong place and then your other leg cuts you and you just go back. Yeah, I've done it many times.
Where you're just not switched on yet, you know. And
still cold.
I know you were saying that. Oh, the viewers are saying it's a 10-9 round and not a 10-8 round. Now, if you watch the round back again, he wobbles him in that round and he nearly goes, you know. So he won that round, Callum Simpson, although he got knocked down in the first 15 seconds. So I can get why people are saying it's a 10-9. Now in the third round,
I get that. But normally when someone's been knocked down, it'd be a 9-8, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? It'd be a 9-8.
It's normally a 10-8 with a knockdown, even if the fighter who has been knocked down has won the round.
Agreed.
It's a 10-8 round anyway.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah, but the viewers actually gave it a 10-9 to Callum Simpson. That's what confused me. They gave it a 10-9 to Callum Simpson after he got knocked down. That's what confused me.
Yeah, but I can understand why the viewers who aren't really boxing thingy, who are just watching it, you know, you can understand.
He won the
round.
Like
he wobbled him in that round. He won that round, you know.
Very
and,
judges.
And the viewers wasn't on the zone. It was on Sky, so it was just British viewers who
never watched boxing.
I didn't see the fight. I know Jam was. I was listening to Jam watching it. How many times was Simpson knocked down? Out of curiosity.
Twice, mate. Once in the first, once in the third.
Round 1, round 3.
The first round was a flash knockdown. The third round was a proper knockdown, though.
Well, no, I see. In the third round, I don't think it was. Simpson was on him. He was throwing uppercuts and everything. And then if you watch it again, Simpson steps back away from him to come away from him. And again, he pulls his feet out square and he just catches him and he goes down and he's straight back up again.
Though, didn't he? He didn't go back. He actually went down. You know what I mean? That's what made me think it was a good punch. Because he actually went down.
It was his feet. He just didn't get his feet right on the way out. You know, that's why he crumpled.
Problem, mate, when you get clipped, isn't it?
So was it
right, going down.
Yeah. I don't think any of the two knockdowns were like heavy knockdowns.
He was fresh as a daisy once he was up. He was straight back at it, weren't he?
Right. Tell me about the finish.
It was just Zuko was absolutely spent. By the 10th round, Zuko had shot his bolt. He'd released all his hounds. He'd dropped every bit of jism he had left. He was just on the rope, sagging. And Simpson just had to put a bit of work in, and he was going to be stopped. And that's exactly what he did, mate. He just put him to work like a little slave and just beat the shit out of him. And it was fantastic to see. I was very impressed with his performance in the end.
Right.
Needs to be careful, though. He does need to be careful.
Callum Simpson need to be better on his defense.
Yeah, it's going to be dangerous going forward, mate.
If he fight a better opponent than Zuko. Zuko was undefeated, but he hadn't fought so much on the high level. And if Callum Simpson fights a top 5, top 10 fighter in the division, he need to be better on his defense.
He does, definitely, mate. Yeah, he was supposed to fight Mark Jeffers next, weren't he? But Jeffers got beat himself, didn't he, on the same card?
Jams, let Rice got to say something.
Oh, sorry, right. Go on, mate.
I've not seen it online on my phone. I've been too focused on other fights. Did Callum Simpson win by KO?
Yeah. TKO.
TKO in the 10th.
TKO round 10.
I've got a bookie line in the bin. I got to go and fish out. Holy shit.
Never throw your slip away till Sunday morning.
On the same card, though, guys, on the same card, Mark Jeffers, who was meant to fight, rumoured to fight Callum Simpson next, lost. He lost to Sean Hemphill. And he lost quite handsomely as well. Scorecards were 95 apiece, so it was a majority decision, 96-94 and 97-93. And Hemphill, the American, just bossed him quite a lot of the fight. Like, Jeffers did not look as great as everyone seemed to think he was going to be. He got found
Right.
out for real, mate. And if Simpson had gone against him, I think Simpson would have knocked him out anyway.
Right. Where does Simpson go from here?
Well, now, God knows, mate. God knows.
Right,
Super
right.
middle.
You muted me.
This is what I wanted to ask, mate. This is what I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask the lads. Obviously, you know, it's nice to speak to you boys that know a bit about something, because my jury is out, so to speak, on Simpson. I want him to be different class. I want him to be different class, but I want you lot that know a little bit about something to tell me why he might be. But because if you're squaring up and getting dropped inside 15 seconds, and if you're squaring up in the third round because you're lively now, like I'm a bit worried for you. But at the end of the day, I'm not binning him off. I'm just saying, because I know that the Barnsley crew are behind him, and I know he's a British boy. We want him to be successful, but reassure me that is he that guy, or are we going to be able to get behind him?
I didn't say, guys. You're gonna have to answer the man.
I think he panicked.
Not that good
because he got knocked down twice. I feel like he was trying to chase the fight, and like he can, is it? Sorry, I'm no.
What can?
Yeah. Right. With his defense being, I feel like that he just felt like he had to go for it, because he was 10-8 down on 2 of the rounds, you know, and I felt like maybe he just was not thinking and chasing it too much. So that's why his defense was a bit lackluster, you know. And like I say, he did have him rocked a few times as well. So I think he just felt like that I can knock him out here. I've got to make a statement. Again, you're on a big home show. Everyone's coming out for you. You're in a stadium. You know, I try and look at it from the human aspect and the mental aspect of it. And, you know, to be on such an occasion like that, when really he hasn't really fought on many big occasions.
Are you excited about him, though? Are you excited about him?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
I think
so with Shalom losing the Sky deal, like, is he still with that promotional team? What's going to happen?
Well, Ben Shalom's actually come out tonight and said he's still in talks with Sky as well. So it's not all
Sky's put a statement out there saying we're going to go with every promoter.
Yeah, Sky's over for Boxer. Boxer and Sky are over.
Yeah,
Ben Shalom, I've got an interview on Red Corner Boxing with Ben Shalom where he says, Sky is definitely done. It's cooked. It's over. It's a new chapter.
Well, that's not what he said tonight. What he said tonight was he's still in talks with Sky.
Oh, did he?
He said he's in talks.
I think Callum Smith, Callum Simpson. For me, Callum Simpson.
TNT Sports, mate.
Hold on, John.
For me, Callum Simpson should have a defense of the EBU title at the next fighter in the ranking to get more experience from the best in Europe, and then go to bigger fights. And right now, I think top 10 opponents are too good for Callum Simpson, but he could be up there in a few fights. That's my take on it.
I've not seen the fight tonight, but who would be the next possible fighter then? Who would be the next? I can't judge because I've not seen what happened tonight. But who would be the next possible?
Good question. I
can check the EBU ranking.
Yeah, but whoever's number 2 in the EBU
ranking. I was going to say, before this fight, there was a danger the Boxer would fast track Khan too quick. Do you think that now, after on hindsight, that evaluation will have to be reassessed?
I disagree, Mr. Neutral. I think they're holding him back. The reason why they're holding him back is because how many poster boys have they got left? He's a ticket seller. He can sell Barnsley out, right? He's got a football fan. You've seen what happened tonight with Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley is not a household name, but the Ipswich boys came out for him tonight. So with Callum Simpson, with Cam Simpson, the Barnsley boys will come out. And just speaking to a few people the other day that went to that, I know they only opened up one side for his last fight, Barnsley, but they said the noise was insane. So that place is going to get that place is going to get behind him. But I think the opposite. I think they're holding him back because they don't want to lose him.
I checked the EBU ranking, and Kevin Lelezadio is #1 ranking, and he is a very good fighter.
Yeah,
from France. So that will be a really tough fight if that fight will happen.
What about Christian Mbili? Is he still super middle?
Yeah, but
and Christian Mbili is an even tougher opponent, and also Iglesias is a very tough opponent. So there are a few tough opponents for him, but I think he will not
no big money fights though, Håkan. That's why Box will keep feeding him like regular guys.
Yes, there are not big money fights, but very
there's no cash out
opponent.
That brings me to my next question: is how far away are we from seeing Callum Simpson fighting outside of an EBU belt?
What about Jaime Munguia? That could be a good fight for him down the road. Jaime Munguia.
He's trying. No, no. That's like
you won't put him in with Jaime Munguia?
No.
Why not?
Listen, I wouldn't put him in with Diego Pacheco right now, or Trevor McCumbee.
Really? I think he'd beat Trevor McCumbee.
I don't know.
Jams, I'm with you. I'm not that I've even thought about it. I'd put him in with Munguia because I want the guy to get
money
paid.
in it at least.
I want to
good
get
money.
paid.
I'm talking about, you know how they're going to work it with Callum, like you said, Brett and Håkan. They're going to feed them these few fights first. My question was, do you think it's going to be 2 years before we see him in a world title fight if they continue with that strategy, or will Boxer gamble and go for a Jaime Munguia or a Belanga or a?
What about Hamza Shiraz?
Hamza Shiraz is.
He's at 168 now. He's moved up, so he's fighting. What's his name? Looking Edgar Belanga, isn't he? So
he's fighting Belanga, but I mean,
they're still levels above Callum Simpson right now.
But after his performance against Adames, I wouldn't put him above anyone at the minute. Hamza Shiraz,
Adames would handle Simpson right now.
Adames is very good, mate, at 160, but at 168, I don't think Hamza's going to be all that. He's lanky, but he ain't got nothing about him now. He's got that one punch. He's a bit of a Fabio Walker, but it's super middle now.
That was bad matchmaking.
Adames would.
Here's one for you: Callum Simpson and Christopher Eubank Jr.
That I would like to see. Now that I would like to see, because that's two guys who literally can take their time and have a scrap. That would be fun. That would be fun.
I think a lot of it. I think a lot of it is going to depend on what TV deal Boxer get. Because if it's with the Zone, I feel like they're going to really put on these big fights and intertwine these fights. If he sort of stays with Sky,
do you think Boxer's going to get the Zone gig as well?
Yeah.
Is that the rumor?
I can't see where else, unless they stay with Sky.
I've heard TNT are going to be having Boxer. This is what I've heard from a couple of different sources, that TNT are going to be having them, because TNT and their future projections align, whereas Sky Sports don't.
Well,
listen, DAZN and Eddie Hearn and the people involved in DAZN can't stand Benjamin. They're not the argument.
I can't see that.
Jam, the asshole, a guy that I can't stand, cunt of the century. Jake Paul is now signing the male fighters.
I know, mate. Yeah, fucking hell. He says it all, doesn't it? He says it all right, yeah.
An influx by guys that he's signing, taking guys from PBC, and we're going to see a bit of a shake-up,
Yeah,
PBC have just been fucked off by Amazon, isn't they? Amazon Prime have just fucked them off, so their contracts come to an end. Yep. So they're desperate themselves, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things up for grabs, a lot of marbles in the air at the minute.
Is that done? PBC done?
PBC, Amazon Prime have said they're not extending their contract because they again, same as what Sky Sports has said with Boxer, don't align.
That's what we've had.
With PBC on Prime, Prime has never promoted PBC shows like the other streams do. So Prime hasn't been good for PBC.
Yeah.
No, it's been shocking. It's been shocking, to be fair. They're putting like mediocre cards on pay-per-view. It's like people ain't going to pay for these shit cards for 40 quid a month or whatever. It's ridiculous.
The thing is, with Jake
and your
Paul,
subscription of $11.99. It's just crazy.
And it's $90 for the pay-per-views.
In America, yeah, it's crazy.
Mr. Neutral,
crazy out there.
Go back to Rye, because he was about to say a really good point.
Rye, what are you saying, mate?
Yeah, sorry guys, mine's jolting, so I'm missing you. Sorry about that.
Sorry guys, with Jake Paul clearly buying up the female division, I mean, it's an absolute monopoly right now that he's buying up on that. And it's exciting, it's great. I hate the guy's an absolute ass. But he's now buying he's now buying male boxers. And he's getting Netflix deals. And these Netflix deals, that's the money.
That's the money.
It's all about viewing figures. And
well, got like 56 million monthly subscribers. That's a lot of paper, mate. That's $5.99 a month for 60 million people.
MVP.
But he knows what he's doing business-wise. And he's going to get young fighters. And
well, he's got Nikita Badarian around him, isn't he? Nikita Badarian's the money man in MVP, and he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
MVP are about to become like the 5th major promoter.
Major.
100%. They probably already are, Neutral, just from signing the females they've signed. Because they've needed a whole market. They've took a whole market.
Yeah, and the question is, will MVP have a UK card next year with all the female fighters they have signed?
Because they will. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I bet you they will next summer.
That's where the money is for the females. He will create.
They've got Ramla Ali, Janika Johnson, Alicia Baumgartner. They've got everyone. Bar, Terry Harper, Chris Shields, Jennifer Hahn. They've got the rest.
Ellis Courtney, Savannah Marshall, Chantal Cameron.
Yeah, they've got them all.
I just talking about UK female fighters now.
They've got Nate Dove. They've got them all.
Yeah, but to have a show in the UK, to have all their UK female stars.
No, he's gonna take it out of the UK. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make these fights in America, and he'll create the new women's American scene over there.
Women's Super League. He'll call it the Women's Super League. It'll be the most MVP Super League.
Because Serrano, all these Americans, these Shea Metcalf. Yeah, but the question for me that I follow female boxing a lot have been to 50 plus world title fights live, and the question for me is when Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor is done and retired, are they gonna sell good in America? I don't think they will do that.
No, they'll have to take them abroad.
For example, the Sandy Ryan-Michaela Mayer fight didn't sell well at all in America.
I think that he'll take it to America, to Puerto Rico, to the UK, to Australia.
That's what he'll do. That's why he signed Janika Johnson, mate, to get the Australians on board. He's doing it for all the countries. He's got it locked in.
But look, we got to move on. We have to move on.
The only reason, let me just quickly say, but the only reason he's been able to round up all these women boxers is because Turkey doesn't want the women boxers.
Exactly, gap in the market.
So it was a market that was to be able to got, weren't it? But yeah, move on, Mr. Neutral.
But he'll make money out of it, though, Twinny. Just before we move on, he will make money out of it because he's got it locked in now.
Boxing.
I mean, look at that July 11th card. We're talking fucking 20 mega fights. You know what I mean? 20 fights that would, 10 of them would probably headline on their own anywhere else. And he's got them all on the one card. It's going to be the best night of female boxing ever seen. I can't wait.
And
Kicking Metcalf against, I was going to say Dina Forthland then, but that's off. Against Sugar Nick Johnson. It's going to be terrific.
Yeah, it's 3 undisputed world title fights, 2 unified world title fights, and 1 interim world title fights. on
you
that
don't get
card.
that kind of money for bang for your buck anywhere else, do you? Really?
No.
Wait, when is that? Is that a
July the 11th in Madison Square Garden,
July
New York.
11th in Madison Square Garden.
Okay,
I was at the first fight in Madison Square Garden with Taylor Serrano, and that night was one of the best nights I ever been to in boxing.
There's a massive Irish contingent in New York and the Hawk, and they get right behind their fighters.
And they travel. The Irish travel even more than the English UK fans do. It was around 5K Irish fans who traveled to the first one when I was there at MSG.
Yeah, beautiful to see, mate. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
We've got a question here from CBH93. Be honest, who would you love to see KO Jake Paul? I tell you what, I'd love Carl Frost to KO Jake Paul. I'd love Joe Kawasaki to KO Jake Paul. I'd love Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. to KO Jake Paul. I would love myself to KO Jake Paul. I would love 20 to KO Jake Paul. I would love Mr. Neutral to KO Jake Paul. I would love Rise Boxing Ramblings to KO Jake Paul. I would love Forecast to knock out Jake Paul. I would love the Boxing Man to KO Jake Paul. Or I'd like his own fucking mother to swallow him.
Right, shut up.
I know for a fact. I know for a fact I would stop that prick with a check left hook. But anyway, I know for a fact because I'd see him coming in. I'd invite him in. And then,
now I love Jake Paul for what he's done.
But let me tell you this right now: he's good for boxing. He's good for boxing.
He's good for women's boxing, definitely.
Right.
Right. Sorry, Neutral. I was checking something out on that fight. Like, obviously, we want to see Jake Paul get beat. Obviously, we all like boxing. But I checked the bookies' odds, and Chavez was like 1 to 200 to win that fight. I'm like, what?
200 to 1 on.
1 to 200 just to
under Neutral, under.
Yeah, Jake Paul is the massive favorite.
Yeah,
in that
why
fight.
that is? Because it's Jake Paul's show and he's been paid to win.
So
and Chavez Jr. hasn't been on any good level for 15 years.
I know.
Do you remember when he fought Canelo, when he promised he was going to knock Canelo out? He got absolutely bitch slapped around the ring for the whole fucking 12 rounds. It was an embarrassment.
Yeah, but when you get to them odds, though, gentlemen, you're not allowed to win, right?
Exactly. You have to put 200 quid on to win £1.
Well said. Well said.
Right.
Well said.
Let's move on, gentlemen. I want to talk about the fights that are coming up tonight. Obviously, we've all been let down by Keyshawn Davis. We got Abdullah Mason, who is headlining tonight against Nakatiria from Namibia. As a headliner, it's going to probably be very disappointing to the fans that are actually going to be turning up there tonight because, Mason is quite special, but Nakatiria, I can imagine, will probably be a bit more resilient than his previous opponents. Have anyone got any comments to say about Keyshawn Davis, and B, the state of American boxing right now? I'm going to come to you first, boxing man, Brett, because you're over that way. You're hearing a lot of things. What's going on?
Look, I didn't like the interviews from Keyshawn building up. Like I was a little bit upset by it because at the end of the day, look, every single one of us on this call right now has probably got things going off in our personal life that we're not going to talk about on this screen. You know, there's things that we've got going on, but he's tried to make the mental health thing prevalent, and that people have been picking at his mental health thing. If you're a prize fighter, you can't have that going into something. You've got to be focused on what you've got to do. You're in the entertainment business, and you've got to knock somebody out. The sole purpose that you want to do is a show reel knockout, right? And the way he was talking, the way he was moving all week, I was like, okay, all right, let me see where he's at right now. Then he comes in, what was it, 3.4 pounds over or 4.3? 4.3, okay, 4.3 pounds over. Right, fine. But he's one of the ones that we're all, as everyone on this screen, we're looking at him going, what's he gonna do? He's the next one that we're gonna, like, you boys in the UK, you're gonna wait up till 3 o'clock in the morning to watch him fight. He's the one. He's going, okay, Then he comes in, and then you go, oh, what's happening here? The bottom line is, mate, is that he's missed this big time. He's missed his opportunity big time because it's in a world where we've just watched Devin Haney win a fight in Madison Square Garden or the Times Square, doing a better moonwalk than Michael Jackson in his fucking prime. Right? and he's won a fight, right? And then Tio's landed one shot, done a little dance in the ring, and we've all gone, okay, Tio looks lively. And then obviously Ryan Garcia, I'm not going down the juice mode. He got bamboozled with a shot to the top of the head, and it scrambled his brain completely, right? And these are the right now for our era. These are the icons of the sport.
Yeah,
the icons of the sport.
So, I've got to say, boxing, man, that was the worst card in the history of boxing. That Times Square card.
Turkey knows, and Jams, Turkey knows that, right? And
it was trash.
I don't know how he's gonna fix it, but it was just like how. And then the next day we're like, oh, thank fuck, Canelo's fighting.
And that was even worse.
And then we watched that.
Boxing, man, I think that's just a very good comment you made. The icons of this sport, and see for the kids watching boxing right now. These guys are the icons right now. Tio and Ryan Garcia and all these fucking... We watch them and we think they're a bit of a fucking pain in the arse douchebags, you know what I mean? But these are the icons. Haney.
Of this day and age, yes, they definitely...
That's what I mean. This day and age,
young
right?
people,
These are the
young
icons
people.
of a certain age.
They're the current
that event happened, and that event was fucking
horrendous. Thing is, with Ryan Garcia as well, just touch on that point.
Horrendous
He's showed his scars off because he had to have wrist injury since that fight. He claims he fought the entire fight with a broken wrist.
I don't care. I've seen amateur fighters fighting
he's full
guys.
Of shit, mate. He's a PED cheat. He's a little bitch. He got slapped about by Rolly Romero, and he deserved every second of that fucking show-up punishment that he got. It happened to a nicer guy, mate, in my opinion.
Have we been overestimating American boxing for the last 3 to 4 years?
Yeah.
Mate, Britain's carried boxing for years. Britain has carried boxing for years. We're the only ones who sell out stadiums. They can't even get 10,000 to a fucking massive fight.
Have they been selling? I mean, look at David Benavidez when he lost his belts on the scales. How long did it take him to win another belt?
Oh, they gifted him one. They took it off Bivol to hand to him, personally fucking identified. Here you go, sir. Here's your belt.
A 3-year gap.
We love you.
3-year gap. It took him 3 years to get another belt elevated. If you look at all the guys that have lost belts on the scales, how long it took them to get back in the game. Keyshawn Davis has made irreparable damage to his career, pulling that stunt. Thinking that Edward De La Santos
calls himself the businessman.
Take the money like a good little wee boy that he is, and then he'll take a wee fine and all the rest of it, so he can come in the ring £15, over his drained opponent. Have you seen the state of Edwin De La Santos at the weigh-in?
The only good thing, mate, is Edwin De La Santos is still getting his full purse, by the way.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Davis. Garcia, he signed up for that, and what happened to him is he got beaten, right, Osterine included, right? But the thing is, these weight bullies have this advantage when they come in overweight like this, 4.5 pounds, and you got this guy who's been professional, weight trained to fuck, and comes in and this guy's coming in, it's nearly super light, and then he's going to rehydrate again in thinking De La Santos is going to sign this fight and take it. No, he got taught a very valuable lesson there. And he calls himself the businessman. But the businessman fucking dropped the ball.
Fumbled the bag, mate. He fumbled the bag. And all Edwin De La Santos' team wanted was a 10 a.m. check weigh-in and 10% rehydration clause to make sure he doesn't go £10 above the £5 almost that he came in at. That's not an unreasonable request from Edwin De La Santos. He should have bit his hand off and said, yeah, let's get this fight on in Northern, in Virginia, in my hometown, where my two brothers fight on the same card. Let's make this fucking fight happen. All my people have come out, they've paid their tickets, their hard-earned money, $100 a ticket. They've all come out, but he'd rather be that fucking greedy that he wouldn't pay the fucking fine and he wouldn't allow it. he wouldn't go in only £10 over the 149.3 that he came in at. That is crazy when it's supposed to be a 135.5. So he could have come in at 143 and still been okay. 157,
Jam,
58,
jam.
still been okay.
Yeah.
There needs to be a major
pussy old
shake-up
man.
of
He
the
bottled
whole.
it.
Big
He was
Rye's got
scared of
Big
De Los Santos.
Rye's got a point.
There needs to be a major shake-up of the whole rehydration. Don't get me started. We can all talk. We're all adults here, but there needs to be a major shake-up of weigh-ins, weigh-in dates, especially.
Bring back the day in weigh-ins, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm involved in amateur boxing a lot, and some of the shit I see regarding weigh-ins and in young kids, and it disheartens them when they hear, oh, that guy's he's now £10 over what he was a night before. Some of the shit I hear, and it disheartens younger gentlemen, younger guys who are trying to be boxers, and gets them out of the sport, because that psychologically fucks them up, and for professionals as well in this day and age. It's bullshit. We need to just have a total revamp of how we're doing this.
Yeah, it should be. If
It's-
you're scheduled to
me-
fight at 135, you should weigh 135 at the fucking time of the fight. I'd make them weigh in 10 minutes before. If you ain't on weight, fuck off. You lose your purse. Give it to the other man. He wins.
Yeah.
You're disgraced. Go away. You know what I mean? That's how it should be.
That's the solution, James. That is the solution. But look, let's play the talk.
Can I get in here for about the top ranked event in Norfolk? They are apparently getting refund for the tickets, the fans.
Yeah.
And it has gone back at least 5K tickets that are available now. So it will not be even half full for the show.
Right. It won't be reasonable.
Well, they've only got the DB2 now instead of the DB3, haven't they? So,
yeah.
And the Keyshaw was the main event. So fuck them. They get what you reap, what you sow in this world, mate. Keyshaw humbled the man.
And I think
businessman has no business sense.
Fair play to Top Rank that they did that when the main event was cancelled, that the fans could have the opportunity to get a refund.
Well, I think Keyshawn Davis will be fighting for free for Top Rank next, but we must move on. Obviously, we're all in agreement that Mason is going to do a job tonight. Any detractors from that? For me, it's going to be pretty one-sided, a very quick affair. And Top Rank will want that whole thing over and done with as quick as possible for damage limitations of what Keyshawn's already caused them. But let's move across to the other side of the world, and let's go to Asia. Let's touch on Opetaya first, because I want to save the best till last, and that'll be Nakatani card. Opetaya up against the Italian.
My fucking boy.
Claudio Squeo.
Claudio Squeo, the IBF European champion, up against the IBF champion. Obviously, it's very frustrating for Opetaya since he was forced to drop the belts last year. And he has to sort of retake the route to go get undisputed again. But are we expecting anything else than what you've predicted? This week, gentlemen. If I look at around the board here, like James, you've got obviously Opetaya. Everyone in League 2, League 1 has gone for Opetaya. Let's assume he's won this fight, right?
Yep.
Håkan, you're probably one that knows for these better than probably most about potential matchmaking. How far away is Opetaya from actually getting it?
Sorry, since you're neutral, Reina Tellez has just beaten Maria Salinas by UD.
Have a word, mate. He keeps doing this.
I was reading out a live score,
That's
man.
Twice,
it just
that's
happened.
twice
You have to
in the last
fucking
2
read
weeks,
it out.
Twice in 2 weeks now, mate, isn't it? Right. What was
Did
the
you hear
thing?
that, Håkan, though?
Anybody remember what I was
Maria
saying?
Salinas on the
That's what I would
MVP card.
think. Oh my god.
Okay, unification for Opetaya can happen against the winner of Ramirez and Dorticos, who fights on the Jake Paul card, but that fight will probably happen as early as next year, or maybe November, December as the earliest. So and Badou Jack for the WBC, Mikaelian is ordered a rematch because of the dodgy decision. So there aren't so many fights out there at the moment for unification.
Does Badou hold WBC?
He's actually been ordered to do that rematch with Mikaelian. And so you've got Ramirez. Is there going to come a point where Oppenheimer goes, right, fuck this, I'm going to cruiserweight?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, 100%. He's at the end of the day, he's like, I had a tweet 2 years ago with that whole Tyson, when he was in Tyson Fury's camp, and I have it on very good authority that he put Tyson Fury completely on his arse.
Yeah.
And then that's when can you remember when the fight with Usyk got cancelled for an elbow injury or whatever it was?
Yes.
And it was in that same camp, Moses Thomas stuck it on Tyson Fury as well.
I've heard that. Yep.
Yeah, and so Pattaya got kicked out of the camp the next day. I put a tweet out there because somebody had told me about it. I put a tweet out there and said that this had happened, and it went off. It went off, and then other people started coming into it. J.R. Pattaya is ready for low-level fodder at the heavyweight division right now. He's ready.
Like Lawrence Coley.
Yeah. Lawrence Coley, he's ready for him. He's ready for Dylan White. He's ready for low fodder, right? And it'll be it. And to be honest,
he needs to build on that frame. He needs to build on that frame, though.
Yeah, but he does, mate. He does. I agree. His shoulders aren't big enough, are they? But
I wouldn't go near him, and I'm a heavyweight.
Yeah, but if he wants starting in some dough, he can take the low hanging fruit, can't he?
Yeah,
he can take the low hanging fruit. That's the way I see it.
It only takes one fight at heavyweight for J.R. Pattaya, and the whole world will go mad. And it's a good win.
He needs to clean up at cruiserweight first. He can't, talking about him going to heavyweight.
He's not going to get the chance. It's simple as that.
Is he going to fight Ramirez?
I think it'd be a big mistake for him moving up to heavyweight. Just because he's put some people on their arse in sparring. I see sparring every week, and I see little people putting big people on their arse in sparring. It's totally different,
You're talking different. You're not a great cruiserweight. Come on.
Apparently, Jai's fighting Gergo next anyway.
Listen, I love Jaya Pattaya. I think he's amazing, but I would like to see him stay at cruiserweight and do what you said.
He's putting Tyson Fury in his arse in sparring, and then the next day he gets kicked out of camp. You're not telling me that he's
okay, man. I'd put Tyson Fury in his fucking arse and sparring at certain points.
And there's probably been many a man that put Tyson Fury down in sparring.
I've literally sparred some big men. I would, but not anymore. I'm too old.
It doesn't mean he should go up to heavyweight and start fighting the top 10 heavyweights.
I said low. I said low fodder. Low fodder. I did say take the low hanging fruit.
I think he's got to achieve more at.
Well, he's got a job to do. He's still got a job.
I agree with Quinn. And I think that the certified, if Cerdo beats Doticos, could happen in November. So
November.
That's the rumor
here. Oh, Cam, that's the
something. Just obviously me and you throwing a few guys. See, the era of these massive heavyweights are over. I think there's a lot of guys. You know the 6'6", 6'7" giants. So we're now getting into the 6'2" to 6'4" guys like Richard Torres Jr. Looks quite small.
Love him.
We've got Moses Atama, who's 6'3", I think 4.
Yeah,
even like great. We've got. I mean, having these guys that aren't
Caballero, 3.
Having it kind of even is
3.
it's exciting to watch. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, the smaller the heavyweight, the better the boxing I get. Because, when you look at 300-pound, 280-pound heavyweights, it's slow as fuck. It's so slow.
And I'll tell you something, Martin Bacoli isn't fucking 6'6". I'll tell you that, right? Fucking
Nice, 6'4". Right.
Let's get rid of the cruiserweight then. Let's get rid of cruiserweight.
Well, they bought a new one out now, Twinny. They've got Bridgerweight, haven't they?
Bridgerweight.
What a joke that is, mate. Lawrence Coley won a world title in 1 second against Brzezinski and then fucking gave it up because it's that shit.
Right, let's move on to the last. Let's move on to the last of the cards, and it is the Japanese card with Nakatani and Nishida headlining for a unification at 118 pound. Again, another one that's much needed for Nakatani. Guys, I've got your predictions all right. Is there any changes that you want to make me aware of in your thinking of this? Because it's knockouts across the board, League One and League Two. Apart from Lee, NSB, he feels that Nakatani is not going. He's going to have an off night. Anything to add to the to your predictions, gentlemen?
Nakatani KO, mate. Can't see anything but Big Bang KO.
I'm looking around. I can just eat that. Absolutely, and Nakasura. Sorry, can't say it. Jams. Nawakas versus Tension. That's him.
Tension.
Yeah, Tension. Now he's the six fights, 2 wins, and again, a lot of people have gone for Tension, who's highly inexperienced as a pro, against Victor Santalan, 29. Are we expecting a Japanese clean sweep, gentlemen, tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes.
I say yes, definitely.
I say Tsuboy could be the next big one from Japan. He said it's his second fight, and he's already in a title fight in the second fight.
This is like Lomachenko.
This is the
they're moving him very quick.
And his second fight. This is how much they highly rate this guy. So we're all going to have to keep our eye on him. Because, as you said, Håkan, he's been touted as the next best big thing coming out of Japan. Right. As with, we're all expecting these pretty clear decisions. Although Van Tran, for me, could put up a bit of a fight with Zuboy. He's quite handy himself. The 18 wins.
But his record looked very good. But he has just fight Billy Dibb, who's a good fighter, and he lost that against the Australian. And
that was on the weekend.
All his wins are at a lower level opponents. So I think Tsuboy will take him out.
Okay then, gentlemen. Look, any other business today?
Zelfa Barrett with a 3rd round knockout.
Zelfa Barrett is back with a 3rd round knockout. Thank you, Trini.
More interestingly, though, Joe Gallagher. Obviously, he's with Joe Gallagher now. I've seen it before. Joe Gallagher was in the ring. He's looking really well. Do you know what I mean? So. He
had cancer, didn't he, bless him? He had cancer, bless him. Terrible, man.
He's been having treatment and stuff, but he's looking really well.
I love Joe Gallagher as well. One of my favourite coaches, man. Absolute legend.
And it was a shock in Germany that Murad Aliyev lost the European heavyweight title fight, even though he was the challenger. But he was a big favorite going into that fight. And the next big French hope in the heavyweight division. So Lavinot Soksai from Albania is still the European heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
right,
also,
thank you.
another little bit of news. We had Nelson Hysart, the Albanian, 23-0 with 21 knockouts. He knocked out his man Patrick Corte earlier and then called out Moses Atormot and asked Frank Warren to make the fight. So that could be next after, obviously, Dillian White. You never know. He holds the European title. He's got a couple of other little, like, intercontinentals and stuff. That could be a fight after.
That'd
for
be a
Moses
good
Atormot
fight.
should have come
That'd
through
make
Dillian White.
sense. That'd make sense for
would.
Atoma more than
It
Dylan
would.
White. That'd make more sense for him going with the title.
Definitely.
Right, gentlemen, before I wrap up Halftime Hard Talk, I've got a question from the chat I would like you all to answer. Canelo or Crawford, boys? Jams, I'll come to you
Canelo,
first.
UD.
Okay,
I
then.
love Bud Crawford, but Canelo UD for me. I think Canelo's just too tough, man.
Okay, then. 20?
It depends. Do we get points in the prediction league for it?
No.
Nah, save it
This
for fight
week.
week, bro.
But
In
don't
No,
fact,
I reckon.
you're chasing me down, man.
that'll be next season.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll be in League One. Yeah, I reckon. I reckon Canelo will win it on a split decision. A controversial split decision.
They'll give it Canelo, even if he loses. They'll give it Canelo. That's why I'm going for the safe bet.
Okay, then. Boxing man.
Yeah, as a fully founded member of the League One 20, and so I think my prediction, and I'm very settled in that league as well, mate. I won't be in League 2 next year.
Hey, I'm only not top of League One because I'm not there early enough. Hey,
There's 2 promotions as well, so 2 of you can come up. It could be 20 and Rye, but Lee's
I
in a
know
good
for a fact
position at the minute.
I can shit the bed for the next 6 fights. We'll be
You
all right.
good.
I'm the Scottish
But
Rex.
I'm going with Jams. UD for Canelo.
UD Canelo. Håkan, ringside live from Sweden, a prediction leader and encyclopedic maestro. What do you say?
I want to hear this.
I'm going for Pat Crawford, unanimous decision.
Crawford UD!
So we've all got it wrong then. We've all got it wrong. Bloody hell.
No,
Can I change my prediction?
I
Can I change mine as well? I'm going to copy Hawkins now. That's it. I'm going to start copying Hawkins' predictions every week.
Mate, I'm bookmarking this. I'm Håkan said. Håkan take Canelo. Right.
What's yours,
Brilliant.
Rye? What's yours?
Right. I know what you're going to say because
He's
you
gonna
put
say
your
Bud
hand
Crawford
in the air
UD.
when Håkan said that.
Even before that, I mean, obviously, it's a fucking hard one, but is it too much of a weight jump? Do you know what? I'm going with my instinct. I think it'll be a Crawford UD.
What about you,
Crawford,
Neutral? What's your prediction, mate? What did you
I'm
say?
going for a Crawford KO.
Oh,
Crawford KO.
Yeah, fuck it.
Canelo's never been down, but he's going to get stopped by a 2-3 weight division lower guy.
I'm pretty drunk. I've been in Greece.
You're very drunk.
I'm
Been
jaking.
on the old FS.
I'll take some of that action with you, personally.
I
You
have another drink, mate, because that's fucking bollocks. That prediction.
Do you know what? See what happens. I'm going to be
the
so.
first time in history
When
that Crawford,
I come to League One and dominate that league as well.
you'll be straight back down with predictions like that, my man. I'll tell you that. But listen, look, as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen a man go up 2 divisions and beat another man. Sorry. That's the way it is for me, and I would fear for Crawford.
Your point is, there's a first time for everything. Yeah.
There is, but there's no first time for Canelo ever getting knocked out. Certainly not by a jumped up lightweight. Now, gentlemen, I want to thank each and every single one of you for coming on Halftime Hard Talk. This is episode 1. We will be back not next week, but the week after, because there's no British boxing next week. This show is specifically for halftime between UK and US shows and for these kind of debates. I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves today, gentlemen. Thank you for coming through to Red Corner Boxing. James, man, for being my compadre, my partner in crime. 20, keep the grind going, mate. Good luck for your boys as well.
We'll have fights next week.
Well,
we've got another fight next Saturday.
I look forward to your videos.
I have one question only.
Hi.
Boxing man, where the hell are you?
He's in Vancouver.
He's in Elysium. That's where he is.
I'm just home from Greece and I'm fucking jealous.
Oh, stop it, you. Stop it.
Looks beautiful, doesn't it? We've got pure rain here,
just in my back garden,
right? We're sitting here in dark clouds and rainstorms. We've got the most beautiful view.
Just showing us some of his backyard beer. Listen, enough of Crocodile Dundee over there with his gold mines. Right? Gentlemen, thank you for coming through again. We are sponsored by EasyStorage.com. For all your local and nationwide needs, please give them a look in the bio. And gentlemen, once again, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Keep up the grind. We'll see you soon. See you for Tuesday and Wednesday for prediction leagues and all your watch-alongs during the week. And don't forget, Chris Eubank Senior, I'll be doing a little bit of a Fighter Series special on Tuesday. So look out for that. Gentlemen, I'll see you soon.